Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So, a lot of the content I've been consuming recently through podcasts and YouTube and other channels has really been focusing on the importance of some type of money back guarantee or guarantee in your business when you convey your offer to your customer. And I wanted to explore this a bit deeper. And it's something that I've grappled with back and forth and I'm still working on in my own business, but it was especially emphasized when I was at the CFO Accelerator and we were hearing from clients of my mentor Michael's business. And one of the things that kept coming up was, well, one of the reasons that differentiated me in hiring a fractional CFO was the idea of a money back guarantee, right? And having the month to month contract. And it got me thinking about, what does a money back guarantee actually mean? What does a guarantee actually indicate? And why are we so damn afraid of it? Why are we afraid to implement this in our business? So, I mean, we see guarantees as risky, but ask yourself why, right? Why is it risky? What does that say about your own confidence in your offer if you won't be able to make a guarantee? Now, my profession is super guarantee averse because we can't guarantee tax savings or specific results. And we hate talking in absolutes, right? If I were to guarantee you a certain level of tax savings, that is suspicious AF, right? It's like, I can guarantee you 30 grand in tax savings. Like, how? That's like, I can guarantee you 20 pounds of weight loss. How? How can you personally guarantee that? How? And we don't think about anything outside of the absolute. We don't think about how to actually leverage this creatively without signing yourself for something unrealistic. So, offering a guarantee with conditions is the key, I found. That if you don't miss a call, right? If you don't miss an element of service here, if you do your part, client, and you are 100% attendance, right? If you are at 100% attendance and you do the homework and you do all this stuff, I can guarantee you will get from A to B, right? That is a guarantee. And if you don't get from A to B, and that's measurable, I'll give you your money back, right? And you would think, okay, so what does that do? Right? What does that do for the offer? What value does that provide? Well, if you're in the client's position, one of the key objections we always face, especially as service providers, is the ambiguity of whether we're going to get the desired result. And in fact, how abstract and ambiguous that desired result actually is. So, using my business as an example, right, for CFO services, it's like, it's not like weight loss where I can say, I'll get you down from a size 14 to a size 8, right? Like, that's measurable. But if I were to say, I'm going to make you feel more secure about your numbers, peace of mind, clarity, blah, 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 which is what all my clients say they have, people don't really understand how to envision what that feels like. They may have not experienced it before. They may not really understand how that feels to them. So they may not connect with that result. They may not connect with that. So maybe instead of the objection or the obstacle, right? When you're selling a service where the result is intangible to them, this is a huge tool because what you're doing is you're removing the obstacle and removing the risk associated with taking this leap of faith. Because what they're going to be doing is taking a leap of faith with you to trust you that you're going to get them to a destination, even though they don't have a really, really clear picture in a measurable way of what that destination actually is. Right. So they're not coming to the table saying, I want to save $100,000 in taxes or something specifically. They just know they're paying too much. They know the pain. They don't connect with the pleasure point yet. So if that's the case when you're selling something, then a guarantee is a really useful tool because what you're saying is, if I don't if I don't resolve this pain for you, I'll give you your money back. And that puts you in the position where you are committed to solving the problem. You know, you are committed to actually doing it, not just from a money standpoint, but you want to prove that this works. And especially if you get someone who is skeptical and it works, that is a huge game changer because they'll become a raving fan and an advocate because like, oh my God, they did it. And I didn't think they could. And that's huge. But you want to offer some type of guarantee based on the client engagement and participation, right? You want to have conditions. You want to be able to say, if you attend all the calls, if you do all the homework, if you show up to everything, if you do everything I say, then I can guarantee you a certain result, right? And that result has to be connected to what they want. You also want to make it somewhat time bound. So when I say time bound, I mean like you want to have a time limit, right? So if in the first 30 days or in the first 90 days this doesn't get achieved, you get your money back, right? I would make it somewhat time bound if you can, if there's a result that you can measure over time. Let's say, okay, I'm going to use my own business as an example that like we'll get you a draft of your tax return done and questions back to you in 2 days or we'll give you your money back. Like we will live up to the thing that you want in an accountant, right? The number one complaint I hear about accountants by the way is they're not responsive and not communicative on process. So if an accountant said to you, we'll get your tax return done within X business days and we will communicate with you within X business days. And if we don't live up to that, we'll give you all your money back. Talk about a low risk situation, right? But also, maybe that's not the value. Maybe the value is more in quality. So maybe it's we will do a thorough review and there might be a condition there where it's if there's anything wrong, we'll give you your money back. There are creative ways to apply this in the context of a guarantee. And then it begs the question, well, what if we don't get that result? What if that result isn't achieved and yet we're selling a product or service with a guarantee associated to it? Well, what if we don't achieve that result? What if they don't save X dollars? What if they don't make X dollars? What if they don't gain these Instagram followers? What if they don't what if the metric isn't met in the service that we're providing? What do we do? Well, here's an example. Let's take a marketing agency where they say you'll grow your Instagram by, by 100%, meaning you'll double in size of your following or your money back, right? And you give them all the tools they need to be able to accomplish that have been proven, time tested, you have the evidence that it works. And you say if you do all these things, we will guarantee you will double your Instagram or your money back. But let's say what happens is over 60 days, let's say over 60 days, they do literally everything you say. They follow the exact program to the T, follow the recipe, do all the things. They're showing up, they're delivering, and they grow by 80%. They grow by 60%, right? Not 100%. They don't double, but they grow significantly. Well, most people, most logical humans would acknowledge that the recipe is working, that given 15, 30 more days, they could get to that result. And most people would not engage that guarantee and demand their money back. In fact, they would express gratitude and say, wow, it worked. The guarantee is mostly to overcome the obstacle in the initial phase of the sale of the uncertainty. You have removed the uncertainty by proving that your method works and that it's directionally moving the way that it should be. So when it comes down to it, how many people are really going to engage that guarantee and nitpick the actual result? Not that many, believe it or not. But a lot more people will buy your offer if it's part of the deal. If you're offering that guarantee, a lot more people will do that. So when you think about it, it makes total sense to offer this as some type of component of your offer because you're going to sell far more of the thing, get people engaged, get people committed. You're also going to have a more highly engaged group of people buying your offer because they know that they have to show up and they have to put the work in order to get the result they want. They're committed. They're also probably slightly competitive and want to prove you wrong, right? So I'm going to go do everything because if I want my money back, I have to go do all these things and remove that risk, right? But finally, after they do all those things, it's most likely that they will succeed. It's most likely they will get the desired result. It's most likely that they're going to get that positive impact. And then once that's been accomplished, well, then who's really going to come back and say, this wasn't fair, this wasn't worth it, this didn't get me the result I wanted? It did. It just made it maybe didn't in the magnitude, right? I don't think many people would engage that guarantee. And if they did, it would be a very small handful as a result of or as a percentage of the people who bought because of this guarantee, or the people who the higher sales that you generated because you had this would far trump the number of people who engaged it. That's probably universally the case because you're going to sell way more of them because you have this thing, but you're not really going to lose a bunch of money in giving the money back guarantees. Now, you want to make sure you have that money to give the money back guarantee just in case. But consider how this could be utilized in your business. What results can you actually guarantee? And how can you infuse that into your offer in the language and use it as a marketing and sales tool to generate more sales without assuming that you know that they're not going to achieve the result? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying find a result that you can basically guarantee as long as they put in the work and they do everything you say. Put the conditions around it. And I guarantee you, you will be able to sell more and be able to engage more higher quality customers in the process. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could chat with me and our guests about this episode? Well, guess what? You can. Join the Keep What You Earn community now using the link below in the show notes. You can post your questions, chat with fellow business owners, and the best part, it's totally free. Oh, and by the way, it's not a Facebook group. That's right, no noisy notifications or distractions. Just what you need to get the full experience from listening to this podcast and maximizing your value. Meet us over there after the episode to get exclusive content and access to me and our guests for your questions. We'll see you over there. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.